Good evening, and welcome back to another episode of Brunch with the Fellas, bringing you the latest trending topic news and entertainment. I am Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, always just getting it right with just entertainment, and we are the Fellas. Peace, family. How you feeling?
Feeling good, man.
How your day been so far?
So far, so good. Got everything done I needed to get done today. You know what I mean?
That's always a blessing.
No complaints. Woke up this morning, and that's a blessing in itself.
Ain't no question. I was just kicking back, watching some playoffs, you know.
Oh yeah,
The New York Knickerbockers play the Boston Celtics. And,
yeah. That'd be a good game,
you
no
know,
doubt.
I'm rooting for the Golden State Warriors since
Yeah.
since my
Oh,
LA squad ain't come through. Hold up, you know what?
right.
Let me get this. Say what's up to the world, big dog.
What's up to the world? What's up to the world?
Man, I'm on live right now. You on live? You on Brunch with the Fellas? Say what's up to Just Entertainment.
Special shout out to Just Entertainment.
Hey, what's up, man?
Dude, that's what it do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Shout out the brand one time. Shout out, what's the brand?
Mr. Brad.
No, what's the brand? What's your brand? What's your brand?
Oh, Big Biscuit and Honey.
Big Biscuit and Honey.
Series. Yes, sir.
Big Biscuit and Honey Newfie series. And they can go get that. That's everywhere, right? Amazon, Barnes and Noble.
That part. Yes, sir.
Well, I give you a shout out when we get done, big bro.
That's what it do, baby. Holla at your boy.
All right, peace.
Move.
Yeah, we always like to see entrepreneurs excel. So
Exactly.
that'll be coming soon. We be advertising that Newfie series, because my brother has, who we was just speaking with, has a children's book based on two dog stories, and he actually owns the dogs. He actually has the two dogs.
That's what's up, man.
Storm, yeah, two Newfoundlands.
Thank you for telling me about that.
Yeah. So he did a children's story based on his dogs, and it's really nice.
Hell yeah. That's
Yeah.
what's up, man.
But what we getting into tonight, though, family?
Well, got some very hot topics. One probably might be near and dear to some individuals' hearts. This was all over the news. Apparently, a man in Cincinnati ran over a deputy officer in Cincinnati, and it happened to be, or at least alleged, it was over these police officers in Cincinnati shooting his son the day prior. Happened this past weekend. If you would, Pearl, we do have some news coverage from CBS News. If you would bring that up.
Man, you said that. I ain't even know nothing about this. You said
Just found out about it yesterday myself. It's pretty somewhat, graphic, or at least there's, some violence that's featured in at least the video. But unfortunately, the deputy did lose his life from this man running him over, like I said, because he alleged that this officer had something to do with his son getting shot, his 18-year-old son getting shot the day before. So sad news.
that is very sad. Okay, let's run the tape.
In the last several hours, we are following several shootings, including one in Cincinnati where police shot and killed an armed 18-year-old. And then not even 24 hours later, get this, police say the victim's father intentionally drove into the deputy involved in his son's shooting. The deputy is dead. CBS News correspondent Chanel Call is following this story and more from the newsroom. Chanel, what's the latest in that case in Ohio? This is not only one issue of violence, but then a second follow-up issue.
Yeah, Reed, just a tragic story out of Ohio this hour. A man whose teenage son was killed by police in Cincinnati, now accused of killing a sheriff's deputy. Rodney Hinton allegedly rammed his car into that officer. We now know that officer has been identified as Deputy Leary Henderson, a 33-year veteran. Henderson was notably not involved in Hinton's son's death, but want to show you police body camera video of the terrifying moments before officers shot and killed Hinton's 18-year-old son, Ryan Hinton, and want to warn you, it can be a bit tough to watch. So, Reed, police say Ryan Hinton was shot twice and killed by police. This happened on Thursday during a chase after officers had responded to a call about a stolen car. His father, Rodney Hinton, now being held without bond, and police say, as well as his public defender, is saying that he had no felonies on his record. And his public defender also said this was an emotionally charged situation.
To say the least. Oh man, like this is sad, bad.
Yeah,
was the young man in the
by the trash can? Yeah, that was
he.
I mean,
was he in the stolen? Did they confirm that he was in the stolen car? Like, them not justifying shooting him, but did they confirm that did he jump out the stolen car and run?
I'm assuming based off of the coverage.
Nah, we can't do that. We can't.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. I just know it looks like an excessive force situation, and he was just running. It wasn't like he was firing back or he had a weapon or, you know what I mean? It wasn't no standoff. The dude was just running, and it sounded like they busted 2 caps on him, you know, and that's sad. It's just crazy that it's an excessive force situation. I mean, I'm not saying that warrants the dad doing what he did, but I'm sure the dad was emotional, and obviously, like she said, he didn't have a record. So, I mean, yeah, you know what I mean? He probably cracked, and I don't know if that was his only son or, you know, whatever. I don't care. I mean, some parents, you know, it don't have to be only son. It could just be one of their children, and they just crack, you know what I mean? And that's what broke the straw that broke the camel's back for this situation. Like I said, I'm not condoning that he ran a deputy officer that they actually said had nothing to do with that arrest or shooting. It's just crazy, man.
Super crazy, man. Prayers go out to everybody's family. The family. We'll talk about the family of the young man who got murdered, who was shot and killed by the police. You know, we got to send some prayers out to their family because they lost a son and a father.
Yeah.
You know, and then the actual officer who wasn't the 33-year veteran police officer, like, he didn't even have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, man, it's sad.
He was one of the shooters. So. And, you know, I understand the emotion of the father because the father was like, you know, you took my son, you know, so I don't care which one of you it was. I just have to take one of yours too.
Just happened to be at the, you know, wrong place at the wrong time.
You know, so, but that's, you know, like, that's bad, man. And that's sad because now he can't even be there for all the other people who need him in the time of grieving for his son.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's where we always say, like, man, you can't let your emotions get the best of the situation, man, because you're not going to make a rational decision, a logical decision when your emotions are high. Like, yeah. I know from my own mistakes, my own personal mistakes, like, you know, I could blame it on a panic attack. I could blame it on, you know, a disability or something like that. But ultimately, you're still going to be held accountable. You know, you could blame it on emotion. You could blame it on anything, but you still have to be held accountable, man. And that is so unfortunate, you know, but prayers go out to their family, for the father, the son, you know, and the deputy, man, because that shit, like all that ended bad. All
Yeah,
that.
man, it all came to a head. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, the uncertainty of, like you said, the emotional thing, man. You know, people
All that.
crack.
Yeah.
I mean, that could have been, you know, anybody. You know what I'm saying? It just, yeah, it ended
I mean,
badly for the police force.
Go ahead, bro.
No, I just said it ended badly for the police force, and it ended badly for the father. You know what I mean? Now he's
For their whole
incarcerated.
family. Their whole family just lost 2 men.
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
You know,
he's done.
they lost a young man who had a whole life ahead of him, and they lost a father who, you know, clearly loved his son, you know, because he was willing to just say, forget about everything else that I may have to be responsible for.
Right.
I'm willing to just lay it on the line. Forget about everybody else that's depending on me. Forget about everybody else that's counting on me. And the thing is like we may have some compassion for that, right? But the court system is not. So, you know, that's why I'm not a fan of calling the police.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I don't disagree with it when it's necessary, you know, but like I'm not a fan of it because if you can have exchange dialogue with somebody, like that's the best way to resolve a problem, man.
Yeah, it seems like you know, based on the video footage, they didn't give this guy any chance. He was just running, and
young man, yeah, the
he
young
was just
man.
running. He didn't
But
have. I mean,
I'm gonna tell you
didn't warrant
something.
2 gunshots.
I'm gonna tell you something. He shouldn't have been shot at. Okay, he
Nope.
shouldn't have been shot at. But there's also something that we have to teach, like don't run from the police.
Correct. Don't run.
Because how many more examples do we have to see where, you know, let's use this as a teachable moment, right here on Brunch with the Fellas, because we both approaching 50, you know, been through situations, worked in law enforcement,
Yes, sir.
you know, so don't run. What parents have to communicate to their children is that the police officer is still a police officer, but they're still a stranger. There's still somebody who is scared too.
Yeah.
You know, when they come to a situation, they may only have one side of the story, so they only coming in knowing
Yeah.
that,
Exactly.
you
That's
know, and they
wrong.
don't know what to expect, so they're scared too. They want to go home too. They got a family and stuff they want to go home to too, you know. So if you teach that, and then, you know, like having things for children to do, man, like that's a big thing too, because like I get the father crashed out, but it's like, man, that's the ultimate crash out now. Like I you know, I can't say it's honorable, you know, because it's so many other people that probably depend on him that's
Because
going to
he's impacted. Yeah, he impacted his family, and unfortunately, it's called irrational thinking. He was irrational. You know what I mean? So
100%.
irrational. He heat of the moment, emotional, like you said, and he cracked. It was called cracking. That's what he did. You never know what it takes, and I guess for some people, and I mean, I'm not saying, like I said, that the deputy needed to be killed and ran over in that way, but
Right, or the
I
son.
get,
Yeah, or
yeah,
the son, or the little boy need to be
or
shot.
yeah, he need to be shot, or the
Yeah,
deputy. You know what I mean?
yeah, like it's
It's just,
tragic, man.
yeah, man, it is.
That's tragic.
Um,
America, we need to do better with each other. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
And especially black folks, if we thinking that, you know, I mean, I guess some people think the police is a big problem. Some people have things against the law enforcement and stuff like that. And I understand that. Ain't no big deal. Like I know you have bad actors in every outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me, but you know, man, like we gotta use our brain. You gotta think, you know, like it has to be, you know, some alternative, like, you know, it has to be because I don't think the courts are gonna have any empathy for that brother, you know.
Nope. You know, he might be brutalized in the process by other officers. You know what I mean? And I mean, in regards to, you know, getting transferred out, or, you know, hey, when he gets to jail, it might be a different story too. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm saying with our regards to the correctional officers, things of that nature, not the actual, you know, general population. But Yeah, that's
I don't know, brother. But what I'm looking at is that he's going to general population,
oh
right?
yeah. Yep.
And they're probably, I don't know his backstory. I don't know if he has a wife, a baby mother, other children, a mother, daughters,
Mhm.
nieces, aunts, somebody that a
Depends
dad,
on
an uncle,
depends on him.
somebody who was, looking to hear from him or see him the next day, or at least have a phone call or a video call or something,
Yep.
like, come on, family. Like, we've been in the military, we've been deployed, you know how it is. And we was doing it when it cost like $1,000 just to talk for 15 minutes on the phone,
Right.
So I'm exaggerating. It wasn't 1,000, but it was expensive as hell making them phone calls from overseas and different
Hell
places,
yeah.
So it's unfortunate, man. And I have family members and friends, close friends, that done did time incarcerated, for several years,
Mhm.
and I I started a JPay account, so I know how it is to put money on people's books and all that type stuff. I
Yep.
come from that. We not there now. It ain't about where you from, it's where you at. You know,
Exactly.
so that's the understanding now. But you still have family and friends that go through things, make decisions emotionally, and then they have to go and and do their time. But this right here, this is a tragic, tragic situation. But like I said, prayers go out to the family of the young man and the father who sacrificed his life for his son,
Mhm.
because that's what he did. And also to the officer who became a victim in this thing as well, because that's just ridiculous, man. To the officer's family, man. Like,
Yeah, we can't quantify this situation. This is just
yeah,
messed up all the way around. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. Um, Moving on to a lighter note, we got some footage, Pearl, if you would bring up from ESPN, have a panel from ESPN, basically just talking about Luka from the Lakers and his performance with the I guess you could state the unfortunate guess you could say elimination for the Lakers in the playoffs, as you said before, because you were following other teams. But there's some dialogue from ESPN from a few of their um, um, newscasters, and it's actually a specific show called Get Up. And there's some reactions just about Luka and his performance, as well as LeBron James and some of the other players on the team and what it looks like for them in the future.
He has the body of a 40-year-old. Right? So like when you've been in the league and you've been a pro for 10 plus years, those are like dog years. You're not coming into the situation fresh. So can you get your body right? And then how long can it sustain? That's a big challenge.
I don't mean to
talk
laugh,
about
but when you said that he's 26 and has the body of a 40-year-old, and LeBron is 40 and has the body of a
26-year-old. Exactly.
That's literally what they have.
Yeah, but think about it. You just said he's only 26. When he's 26, grow up. Right? It's time to grow up. Like stop being lazy about it. So take your craft seriously. Playing pickup basketball gets you in shape when you're in high school. It doesn't get you in shape in the NBA. And that has been proven all around the league. That's to me, that's all it is. It's look them in the eyes. Somebody has to and say, grow up.
I think that has to be LeBron.
I
think the only person that really resonates is LeBron.
I think what Wendy is saying is that everyone imaginable has said it before. Nico Harrison, if you're watching, you're probably enjoying the show so far. Quickly here on Get Up.
we did see the Lakers lose in the first round, and me being a diehard Laker fan, Kobe fan, Kobe is the GOAT to me. I mean, of course MJ, but then Kobe, then LeBron. So, and then KD can't forget KD. But yeah, man, this right here is it's like you got to be in shape. You know, it's a young man's game in NBA. I know a lot of coaches. I have a lot of guys that friends of mine that coach basketball, and they coach high school level. You know, they coach little league level. They do personal training, strength training, skills training, things like that. Because you know, I came up playing ball, so and I played. You know, like we played. I got some footage. I send you some tapes. But
yeah, I mean, I get it, man.
he said 40 though. He said he got a 40-year-old body. Now I'm almost 50, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think I'm okay. Oh no, that's I don't know where Jay Will got that from. The 40-year-old body. I don't know. I guess most 40-year-olds out of
they
shape.
have some footage of him. He looked a little sluggish. He didn't look like a young, youthful player. It doesn't look obviously like LeBron James, because I'm sure he's not the same height. And obviously LeBron James' weight's distributed differently because he is tall, but he also works out. And a lot of people get to see his, training, just with regard to all the different things that he does, in media. So yeah, Luka, they have some footage though. It looked like he was like an old man playing. It looked like he was Al Bundy.
Like no old man. That's
He
his
was like
game.
Al Bundy. He was playing like Al
His
Bundy
game
from Married with
his
Children.
game is an old man style. Like it's just a half court type game. That's how he has. He doesn't really have a fast paced run up and down the court game. You know.
But
So I mean that his game is his game, but I wouldn't say. I don't know
they're
about
just saying, LeBron
40-year-old bod
40.
thing. I just think he out of shape, man, and it shows. You know.
Yeah.
It just shows. He does need he should try to get himself in better shape to compete at a higher level.
Correct.
To
and
compete.
LeBron's gonna get in his ass. I mean, obviously, Luka left the Mavericks and he loved that team. And I think he excelled, and he built, a family with that team, and they just scooped him up and threw him on the Lakers. And so I'm sure
no, that was a good look. That was a good look. They finished third. They was the third seed in the West.
Right.
So that was a good addition to the Lakers. But
yeah,
once you get down the stretch, like this the thing. During the regular season, they don't call foul. I mean, they call fouls. In the playoffs, they don't call fouls. So getting touched a lot when you're wearing all that weight, when you're playing games, every other day like that, and plus you have to travel, that jet lag, and then you have to being in the best conditioning prepares you for that.
Mm-hmm.
When you sluggish and you already carrying a lot of weight on you, then it's going to reflect in your gameplay, and that's what happened. That's why they got beat in the first round.
Right. Yeah. It is what it is, man. Unfortunately.
But but shout out to the almost 50 crowd who still keep they sexy right.
But hold up, the almost 50 crowd that looks like they're 30s.
That look like they in their 30s. Yeah, that's what people be like. You don't look like you don't.
Yeah, the almost 50 club. I like it.
It don't crack, baby. Black don't crack, baby.
It doesn't. Hey, it's not unfortunate either. Hey, I don't mind getting ID'd, and people tell me I look a decade younger than I look. So that's what's up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As well as for you as well. We don't look old, and definitely fit. And speaking from experience and just watching a lot of ESPN, Stephen A. Smith, and all of these different newscasters on ESPN, and analysts. I know it's easier to, criticize individuals and watch them, and you ain't actually doing it, because I ain't doing it. So I can't speak on behalf of Luka. I'm not competing at that level in the NBA. So it's real easy for me to be outside looking in and come. It's just crazy. Like I said, I watched a little bit of his footage, and it does look like he does need there's always room for improvement. But I think the team that he's on, that LeBron's going to get in that ass. And next thing you know, he may come back, next season be looking thin as hell and look like LeBron. LeBron going to put him through his boot camp or something. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Hopefully. I know I'm gonna speak on it because I love basketball, and like if I didn't have what I got going on now, from my military service, man, I would play basketball every day if I could, just for the workout. So I love it, but he need to get in shape. He does. Like, that's it, man. To compete at that level, any coach would tell him, Jay Will used to play, So Jay Will played at Duke, and then he played in the NBA for a few seasons. I'm not sure how many, but he is a pro. He was a pro. So, he definitely knows what it takes. So, I just don't agree with the 40-year-old body thing. I think he does know.
Yeah, that might be a little out there. Okay, he's got a little extra weight on. You know what I mean? But like,
because everybody who 40 ain't,
Okay, maybe let's give him. He got a 30-year-old body.
40 and flabby.
Maybe he got the 30-year-old body. You know what I mean? Not 40.
Man, I don't know, man, but he out of shape though. That's for sure.
That is for sure.
Yeah.
Well, moving right along, we're gonna go right back to one of our, I guess you could say, controversial celebrities, P. Diddy. Trial started. Apparently, TMZ got called out in court, and TMZ did have a reaction with regard to them being called out in court. So if you would, Pearl, pull up this video from TMZ themselves.
For sure.
We'll take a look at this.
Take that.
TMZ Live, Harvey Levin here. So jury selection continues in the Diddy case. We have some fascinating stories to tell you about certain jurors who were booted and certain jurors who were put through. But we got to start, ironically, with something that happened here at TMZ.
You went too far. Well, not you, but your co-host on the Two Angry Men podcast. He was called out. Mark Garagos called out by the prosecutors in Diddy's case because Mark was in court yesterday on day one of jury selection, and the prosecutor said they noticed that he was, the word they used was consulting, that Diddy's attorneys, he has 7 attorneys, actually he added an 8th today.
Right.
But his attorneys were turning around in the gallery, and the prosecutor said consulting with Garagos about jury selection. And the problem for that, what the prosecutors say, is he can't do this because he's on a podcast where he is talking about this case every week.
So in other words, there's
a rule where you can't do both.
Well, what they're saying is they're saying that he is in some form or fashion part of the defense team. And if he's part of the defense team, there's a gag order that requires him not to make these statements. So they're saying that he's violated the rule, that he is part of the defense team. Now, I don't know
if he's going to say that he's part of the defense.
And I don't know if the judge is going to say whether he's part of the defense team or not, because I don't know what he was saying or whatever.
The prosecutors wrote a letter to the judge saying, you need to please remind Mr. Garagos of this rule.
Interesting, in the letter, they pointed out a particular thing Garagos said on the podcast. So the prosecution now, we know, it just came out today, that they have 5 lawyers on the team, all of whom are 6?
There are 2 types.
Okay. So we just gonna cut that right there. We just gonna cut that right there because check out the Two Angry Men podcast, y'all. They didn't pay us for that promotion, but we used their content. So the link will be in the description, though. We always post what we use in the description. But I just think this is more just,
Well, you think? I think they're trying to promote their show. What do you think?
No, because the court did make a valid assessment when they said, their claim or what they're stating about his defense. If he is working with the defense attorneys in jury selection, stuff like that, then he shouldn't be making comments. He shouldn't be on a podcast talking about it.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah. So I mean, like, he out of pocket. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. He needs to,
if he's an advisor,
find something different to talk about.
Yeah, especially for somebody that's as old as his ass looks. You know what I'm saying?
It's not because he old. It's not because he's an old man. It's just
I'm just saying you would think he would know better. He's probably obviously been in these situations more than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So you think he, and is some, I guess he's a professional as well. You know what I mean? So
I think there's blurred lines. I think some people don't know what to talk about. It's like I talk about certain things on the podcast, right? Like, we have topics, but I may veer off on other shows, not so much on here, but like on other shows, I may veer off. But, like, if you're a part of something, like, you don't use people's name, like I don't care if I'm talking about my cousin or a friend or a neighbor, or, you don't use people's name, If they looking, if they watching, then they know who you talking about. And that's enough. But like, I don't know. In certain places, everybody trying to get clout nowadays. Like, we just don't chase clout. You know what I'm saying? And we definitely not going to put people out there in the street who don't want to be out there in the street like that on the internet, So I think that some people don't have that level of class or that level of cool coming to the internet, that it's just trying to get views and likes and all that. So they're trying to say the most, provocative things or the most, exciting things to get people to tune in. So he should, though, man. He should just go on ahead and they should wrap them conversations up, talk about something else on the Diddy trial. He can't do that. They won't be talking about that stuff no more. And they're gonna probably the court gonna probably make them take that episode down.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, you know it.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably gonna make them take it down. What you sipping on right there?
A mixed black cherry martini.
Mixed black cherry martini. Okay.
Mixed. It says wildly good. Wildly good. Yeah, we have to do that with brunch with the fellas. You got, you know what I mean?
You gotta have some mimosas or something. I'm slipping. I'm slipping right now, but
it's got a damn flamingo on the bed.
I'm on my water diet. I'm trying to maintain this girlish figure.
I'm on that fasting 1 meal a day diet.
1 meal, yeah, that's when I eat.
1 meal.
I usually cook one day and then like eat for the 3-4 days.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Well, we ain't going to give this unfortunate news any more exposure than we need to, because obviously it was just like you said, somebody chasing clout chaser, and obviously TMZ, they have their forefront, or I guess you could say their front runner. He has that show with the Two Angry Men. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's the owner of TMZ, the guy that actually shows up on it.
Harvey, Harv does own TMZ.
Exactly. So he's got a separate show. Good for him. But at least he was out there calling it out just in case the judge was watching, that he put his cell phone on blast and his, you know what I mean? He put his show on blast and whoever his guest was. And yeah, so off the chain, man. But
Yeah, he's also an attorney, I believe, as
oh,
well.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? He's also actually done some interviews, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, he's done a few interviews of just like, documentaries with regards to celebrities. You know what I'm saying? He does a lot of interviewing and commentary outside of that. You know what? They may have actually done one of those P. Diddy specials, not the one on Tubi. There might be one on Netflix, a higher profile documentary about, living with Diddy or some, I don't know what the title is off the top of my head, but I think he may have done that. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know, maybe I've seen him do something before Irv Gotti died too, because Irv Gotti had like a nice, or he had a show. But no, I think it was the P Diddy thing. Yeah, it was the P Diddy thing, and it might have been a Tubi one, as I'm mistaken. It might have been on Tubi. I don't know. That guy, the Harvey, he's on quite a few things in the reality celebrity realm. He's obviously, like I said, he specializes in hot topics with regard to TMZ. So, moving right along. I hate to keep distributing bad news on our podcast. I mean, it's one after the other. Everything tonight happens to be something adverse and negative, and I hate to have all this news of,
Drama.
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 I hate to have this news of just negative connotation type stuff, but if you guys don't know, Smokey Robinson is being sued for allegedly raping 4 former housekeepers. We got some footage here that we're going to bring up.
I didn't see a video from what you sent me earlier. I didn't see a video.
Yeah,
I just saw
see here.
pictures. I saw pictures from the
There was
article, but I didn't get a video on
I
him.
thought we had a video for this. Let's see here. That's fine. Hold on.
But we can read this article though if you want me to read this article a little bit.
Today's the headlines. Well, yeah, we can. It's just saying, Smokey Robinson has been sued by 4 former housekeepers for allegedly raping them repeatedly, and I guess the women filed a $50 million lawsuit. Let's see here in Los Angeles on this Tuesday. They're all, listed as Jane Does, and they're suing for sexual battery, assault, and gender violence, among other claims. Smokey Robinson, let's see here, Motown's music module's wife, Frances Robinson, is named as defendant for the alleged take the appropriate corrective action to prevent defiant misconduct against the women, despite having full knowledge of this prior acts of sexual misconduct, having settled cases with other women that suffered and experienced similar sexual assaults perpetuated by him, per the complaint.
Oh, that's crazy. So he already has settled some.
Yeah, man. It's
man. Yeah. Smokey.
I guess it's that she's been named as a defendant for allegedly failing to take appropriate corrective action to prevent Smokey's defiant misconduct against the women.
His wife ain't gonna get in trouble.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, his wife ain't gonna get in trouble, man. That's just.
I mean, it's 4 Jane Does. We had no idea who the hell they are. But it says Frances also allegedly perpetuated a hostile work environment by regularly screaming at the women in a hostile manner, using ethnically, pejorative words and language, according to the suit. And I guess one girl says she worked at their home in Chatsworth, California from January 2023 to 2024, often on the weekends when the rest of the staff was off. Another one, and then she claimed that the complaint that Smokey would take Frances to the nail salon on Saturdays and then rush back home to be alone with her. That's the first Jane Doe. But the singer, he's 85, would allegedly call her into his blue bedroom, lock the door, and escort their dog Shiloh out of the room. He will have showered and clothed only in his underwear, and he would neatly place a white towel on his bed, not to soil the bed linens in preparation for what was about to occur. I mean, come on, dude.
I mean, he'd be setting the mood. He was setting the mood.
Okay. Smokey would allegedly kiss Jane Doe 1 all over her face and body, then roughly penetrate her with his fingers, orally copulate her, and proceed to penetrate her vagina with his erect, you know what? According to the complaint, would try to protest and resist his sexual assaults to no avail because Smokey allegedly enjoyed ejaculating in her without using a condom. Okay. And then the second one alleged
who don't like to feel it.
23 different occasions sexually assaulted. That's the second one. It's all these girls are saying that he's all over the place with them. All over the place. I mean, shit. And this is the third one is saying that from 2012 to 2024, during which time Smokey would allegedly force her into his blue bedroom, where after he would perform his ritual of exiting his bathroom nude or wearing only underwear after showering, and then carefully placing the towel in his bed, and the same thing with the soil, the linens, then orally copulate her and force her to lie face down on the towel so he could penetrate her in from the rear. Allegedly did this at least 20 times per the suit. Come on, dude. What I want to know. And then the fourth person claims she began working for them in 2006 and became Francis, his wife's personal assistant, cook, and hairdresser until 2024. According to the suit, Smokey allegedly raped her in both his Chatsworth home and Las Vegas home, as well as his temporary residence in Vail Canyon, California. Golly, dude.
Horrible, man. This is another example of a brother getting some money and letting his dick make a dummy out of him. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is. Like now, Cat Williams said something on the Shannon Sharp interview. He said, you're going to be surprised when you start hearing about the names coming out. And so far, man, I'm surprised. Like it's not like surprised, like, oh, wow, I didn't think that this person had flaws. We all human. We all make mistakes, but like when you talk about you got a history of doing something like this and you got all these different women coming out, and I'm not saying that all of these women are actual victims that may, but when you have that many people saying it, like,
right,
like, and that's where when you start getting the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, and then it seems like this magical number of 50 million. Like, I don't know what this 50 million number is, but they said that he because Shannon Sharp thing was 50 million. Right?
Yeah, where's this number coming from?
Yeah. And I don't know, bro. Like, it's just, man, prayers to the victims. Women, please stop being so naive just because you see a little glitz and a little shiny stuff. Like, focus on yourself. Focus on, building up something for you. Get married and focus on your husband and building that up. Creating a better life for y'all. I don't get it, family. I don't get it, because a lot of times they be like, well, these guys took advantage, but a lot of times these women put themselves in a position to be taken advantage of too.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. So it's one of them things where it's like, but
that's 22.
Yeah, like if don't nobody have any discipline, then these guys setting themselves up for this stuff. But Smokey Robinson, though, come on, man.
85, man.
A legend, and he at
They're
80.
trying to do another Bill Cosby, man.
That's crazy, but not if he pay. If he pay, it'll go away.
Yeah, man. It's
because didn't Shannon look? We talked about that. I think I said that here on Brunch Fellas, one of them episodes, that Shannon Sharp was going to offer a settlement, and then he offered like 10 million or something like that.
But he got tape. He's got some tape choking and all of the. Yeah, he got some.
Did he offer her? Did he offer a settlement?
I don't know if he did or not. I just know they got some tape. They got some tape on him, though. So I mean, about trying to choke a bitch.
So he needs to settle.
They got him on there talking about choking her ass. So it's a wrap.
But I thought that they was doing that. I thought that that's the type of kinky stuff they was into. I thought they was shooting each other and doing all that.
That's what I'm thinking, bro.
I don't see. That's one thing I don't get. I don't get how you can participate in sexual acts, consensual stuff, and then it turns into, oh, I didn't want to do that, and then I was getting choked, and then I was getting abused, and all this other stuff. So, man, be careful. Be careful who you're dealing with. Know where you stick it at. If your mom ain't tell you, Chef Earl Pearl gonna tell you, man, don't let your dick make you a bum. Watch where you sticking it at, man, because I'm telling you, everything that look good ain't good.
That's right, man. People need to, yeah, man.
You fuck around and catch something more than some shit you can't get rid of. You catch a headache.
Yeah, somebody wipe out your total empire. Look at this one girl with Shannon Sharp, man. They got memes out the ass on it. Little baby pictures of her and him being older, dude. They tearing his ass up on the internet, dog. First, and then at one point they were saying he looked like Miss Netta.
The internet ain't got cut costs for nobody.
They were saying the boy looked like Miss Netta, dog. He kind of do.
That's crazy, but like I said, prayers to the victims, man, and prayers to Smokey Robinson and his family, because I don't know what this is. I don't even know how. I don't know if they have footage or what. This is it. It's just
it was funny. All of them worked for him,
and all of them was his employees. So that's what's making it.
In the house, and the wife's a defendant too, because she's part of that dynasty. And so
she in the house, they saying she there, but a lot of the stuff they saying, he dropping her off. How long do it take to get her nails done?
Right, goddamn.
I'm like, damn, he done had time to come home, drive back home, take a shower, do all this and that, put the dog in the other room or somewhere else in the house, let the dog out in the backyard or something, and still do all that,
At 85, obviously there's some longevity, there's some tenure with these girls, and yeah, I don't see him coming out of this well, because it's 4 girls corroborating stories. It's 4 witnesses. You know what I mean?
Well, 4 victims. 4
victims. Victims and witnesses.
Yeah, they're witness to their own,
Witness to all, yeah. They probably swap notes and all of that.
You think they got together?
They're like, hey, what did he do to you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, did he take you into the blue room? He took me up in there too, and I've been in there like 20 times.
The blue room.
He had some. It was almost like he had some in-house, escort service. You know what I'm saying? With these, and why they wait so long to come out now? That's what I'm saying.
It ain't sound like in-house escort. It sound like he was sleeping with the help. It sound like him and Tiger Woods used to hang out on the golf course type shit.
Right.
That's what it sounds like. So man, that's crazy. Man, I don't get it. Man.
I don't either, man. This is about the second episode of some bullshit with celebrities.
Like, your wife not enough. That
Yeah, what's up with the wife easy? You know what
why
I
is
mean?
the wife not enough? Why is your wife not enough? And if you
I
just
mean,
want to be a player, just be a player, you
I
know.
mean, or hire some ugly bitches in the house. I mean, they apparently may not be ugly. I don't know. Hire some ugly girls.
Oh man. But yeah, definitely, bro. Like,
Man, every time
I don't think
this
none of this
year
going
is like the year to get that ass. It's like the get that ass year. All these
this
celebrities.
yeah. Well, I mean, Cat said it, right? Then he said, then Cat Williams said, like, y'all gonna start seeing a lot more stuff come to the forefront, and you're gonna be surprised.
He was right about P. Diddy last year. And
You know, Puff, and now Smokey Robinson. We got Shannon Sharp, even with his thing, being the guy who interviewed Cat Williams. Like, that's how ironic is that? You
it's
know,
like an oxymoron, you know what I mean? Like ironic as hell. Like, damn, I was just interviewing a dude that was saying stuff was coming out the woodworks on other celebrities, and here I am getting caught up in the shit.
yeah, but plenty of people throw rocks and hide their hand, man. You know,
They throw a rock at a load.
what that shit is gonna come to the light. Trust me, what you do in the dark will come to the light.
Especially if you're a celebrity. You know what I
know,
mean? If you're a celebrity, yeah, if you're a celebrity, and that girl know what she was doing, that little 20-year-old, whatever her name is, she knew what she was doing. She was trying to get a paycheck. She was trying to get more than just that.
He should have paid her. He should have paid her. Even Smokey Robinson, it's like, you know, I always look at it like this. Okay, if you have a wife, man, then, and I think I said this. What was they doing? People been paying for sex. It was, but if you have a wife, why get married if you want to still be with all these other women? All right.
I know
You
that's
know,
right.
like, just don't even get married. Just, you know, have somebody you have children with, and just let that be that, and just tell them, like, nah, I'm just having kids with you, and that's it. Like, but we not getting married. You know, I'm gonna take care of my kids. I'm gonna look out for you and the kids and everything. But we ain't getting married because I want to have sex with other women. You know, so that's being honest. People don't have that type of integrity anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if people ever had it, but it's a unique characteristic to have, to be honest, right? So either do that or just have girlfriends, just date, you know, just date, just don't, and let people know what you're doing up front. So the young lady that you're dealing with, whatever the woman is you're dealing with, she know that she's Saturday, or she's Sunday, or she's Tuesday, or she's Wednesday. She's, and she's not looking for every day. You know, and you're not selling a dream of, I'm going to be with you every day, because I'm not going to be with you every day. You know, I got Miss Wednesdays on Wednesday. I got Miss Friday on Friday. You my Monday, you know? So, because if you having paper like that, then ain't nothing wrong with taking care of the young ladies. All right. And yeah, so I'm just like, so then they should know. So then if you stop dealing with, you did them bad, or you did something, and they like, well, look, can you help me out with this, blah, blah, blah. Help them out. And let them know, like, I'm not going to be with you no more. Like, when they break up, and then if they trying to be on some, well, can you give me a couple of dollars to walk off? Okay, yeah, I'll pay you to leave. I was paying you to stay, so why I can't pay you to leave?
Right.
And I think, and I think that's where they got the game twisted, man, because, you're going to have the woman there, and then you having your way with her, and she's doing it naively off of promises, or what she hopes she probably gonna get, what she thinks she might get, but the whole time you just like, nah, like, I'm getting ready, have my way with you, and then throw you in the trash.
Right.
But you had all the fun and everything else. She gave you the one thing that she can't get back. That's why I be saying to women, like, you need to slow down, stop being so quick to give it to the nice guy, because you giving them the one thing that you can't get back. Like, you can't take that back once you gave that up. That's how, like you say, bitches and niggas get to say, well, at least I fuck. You see, That's how that mindset came about. Well,
Yep.
at least I fucked you. Because that's
Yep.
all it was. Because now it's I fucked you, so it's fuck you now. Right?
Yep.
But you can't do that if you don't give a person something that they can't get back. I could take you out, I could buy you something, I got all that stuff, I could talk to you for hours, all that stuff. But once we exchange that, we can't take that back. You know, all the
Yep.
other stuff, I can go make some more money and do that again with somebody else. I can go
Yep.
have another experience with somebody else like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But once you have that intimacy, that intercourse, you can't take that back. And if you're not doing it purposefully, where you like trying to date with an intent to marry or date with an intent to be with somebody permanently, then guess what? You put yourself in a position to be like, you got fucked, man, regardless of the gender. You know,
It's real talk, man.
You know, so it's just another tragic, another sad love song. And we got another legend, icon, man, R&B icon, Smokey Robinson. Fuck out of here, man. I'm disappointed in rhythm and blues, man. Smokey Robinson? Not Smokey.
His old ass.
But I mean, he was young. You know, he been young. He fortunate enough to be 85. And that's what I'm saying. Like, he's been living a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
we'd be lucky if God give us that many days, you know?
I agree, man. They're saying
Fortunate.
the average is 76. So
Nah, I'm above average. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Or would be fortunate, you know what I mean, to make it to 85.
So we got to, yeah. Hopefully we can get to that. You know, we keep our fingers crossed. But
That's it, man.
But that's sad though, man. That's super sad though, man. I'm hurt. R&B hurt. I'm R&B hurt tonight.
Motown, Barry Gordy hurt. You know
I'm
what I mean?
Motown Barry Gordy hurt tonight, man. For real, my feelings is hurt, man. Smokey Robinson, man. Damn.
Smokey and them. Well, that's all I have for tonight. I hate to be the bearer of bad news with all of these breaking live, news breaks with regard to celebrities and athletes. And unfortunately, like I said, with our first breaking news with regard to the son and the father, everything tonight has just been bad news. And sometimes, or some weeks they're like that. You know what I mean? One week you may have some good news, and another week it just be all bad news. Or previous weekend, a lot of information's coming out during the week that transpired, and it's just one of those things. It's up and downs and roller coasters of bad and positive and negative news. So, but tonight that would conclude all the news that we have for our viewers this evening.
Well, we thank you, Just Entertainment, for getting it right once again, like we always do. And we want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Make sure to like and share the video. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so when we go live, you never miss an episode of Brunch with the Fellas. Also, have a peaceful, positive, and productive rest of your week. And we will see y'all right here next time on Brunch with the Fellas. Peace, family.
Peace, family.
Sign up for the newsletter and shop merch and clothing at www.dbcheftv.com.